I figure if I'm going to procrastinate, I might as well get something done, right? I'm talking about this week's Year of Fear challenge, I can do this, is discussing self-criticism. How do we deal with it? How do we move forward from it? What about criticisms from other people? That sort of thing. So when I say self-criticism, I really mean how we feel about our work, whether it's poetry, novel, painting, interpretive dance, whatever your art form is. There will be a point in time where you are not happy with where your piece is at. It's easy if you do crochet to simply unwind a row. Paint, you can paint over. Words, you can delete and retype, right? However, we find sometimes that we get stuck in a piece. And I've had this happen to me a bunch of times, especially with my photography. I wasn't happy with the way it turned out. I was thinking about what other people were going to be thinking of my piece, not what I thought of my piece. Of the few pieces that I sold, and all of the pieces that won big ribbons were pieces that I was happy with, that I was overjoyed over capturing that moment and editing just a little bit, because I don't believe in a lot of editing for photography. Just to perfect the little things, crop, that sort of thing, and then I'm done. Because if I didn't get the picture right the first time, I didn't get it. It's over. You're not going to over edit something to death, especially with writing. When we are harder on ourselves, judging it from different points of view, whether it's our point of view, I'm not happy with this piece. There are some changes that I'd like to make, and I think that will make it better. Great. That is a fantastic form of self-criticism, because we've identified what we're unhappy with. We're willing to make the changes, and we're assured that if we make those changes, we will be happier with the piece. Yay! How it happens in reality is I don't like this. I don't know how to change it to make it better. I'm really frustrated with this. I don't know why this isn't working out the way that I wanted it to, but I'm really aggravated, frustrated, about what I'm doing right now. I always tell people, just walk away for a little bit. Put the piece down, have a good night's rest, come back to it, right? If you're feeling brave, show it to somebody else, see what they think. Nobody else is going to be as hard on yourself as you are. Nobody. Promise. Okay? So how are you hard on yourself regarding your pieces? Is it because you think other people are going to judge you as harshly as you judge yourself? Because that's not going to happen. Are you unhappy because you feel you're capable of better work, but you're just not putting that work out there yet? In which case, creativity is a process. It's a process. We get better by doing. We get better by trying new things. That's how we learn and grow everywhere in the world, okay? We can't be too hard on ourselves about that, If we're better than we were a month ago, that's great. We are only going to keep getting better if we keep working at it. Are you stuck because you just don't want to be done with the piece? I've seen a lot of people do this, especially in writing. They're like, after I finish this book, I'm going to be rich and famous, or whatever. I'm going to promote it, whatever the after the item is. Once I finish this, then things are going to change. We'll just leave it at that, all right? And that's great. But somehow that becomes a mental roadblock where you procrastinate and you nitpick and you never actually finish it. And you use that as an excuse to hold you back from growth, from whatever. And that's not cool. We don't want that, at all. Do you do that? I don't. I'm very hard on myself about everything, especially if it's going to be something I'm going to show somebody else versus something that I just hang in my house because I love it. Then, yeah, I'm really, really hard about it. But ironically, if I ask someone to look at it and then they say something, no matter what they say, if it's not awesome and positive, I get hurt by it. Even though I've asked someone to take a look at something, I'm still like, oh my God, why don't you love it as much as I do? Even though I don't really love it, and that's why I asked you for help. But oh my God, why don't you love it? Yeah. Don't go down the shame spiral, people. Don't do it. We have to be able to hear other people because everyone wants us to succeed. I don't know anybody who wants anybody to fail except for the presidential candidates, but that's to be expected, let's be honest. So when you're thinking about things this week, I want you to really evaluate. Think about your process. Is there a part of your process where you always hit a roadblock? Like always. Maybe you started 15 really good stories that you really liked. You really loved the characters. You really were really gung-ho, and then you stopped. But instead of reevaluating, you let it go and you started over. So now you have 15 unfinished pieces. Yeah, I have a big to-do crochet pile. So we call those works in progress. But there are always going to be works in progress that end up never being touched again. Oops. It happens. How do we get past that to move towards the success that we want? The success that, whether it's just being happy with your pieces, and forgiving yourself for being hard on yourself. How do we get there? How do we deal with self-criticism? Because we are always going to be the worst judge of our stuff. We are. So, maybe not be so hard on yourself. Maybe. I don't know how to do that. Do you know how to do that? I don't know how to do that. I like to think about the criticisms like, oh, those lines aren't sharp enough, or oh, maybe my crochet isn't lined up on the edges, and that's aggravating. That's really aggravating, especially for someone with OCD. Is it just simply you hate a tone of a paint that you bought and you put it on the canvas and you're like, you know what, I really hate this. I super hate this. I'm not working with this crap ever again. There are obviously places that make a little more sense than others. Maybe you're just so stressed and frustrated with everything else that your creativity is meant to be your outlet, meant to be your fun stuff. And maybe you sign up for a craft show. And you're like, oh my gosh, I have to have 30 pieces done by whenever. And then you start, and things are going great through like your first 2 pieces. And then you're like, I'm not happy with any of this. I'm just going to call it the craft show. I'm not going to do it. Well, who does that help? Nobody. Not you. None help. So, think about where you're getting stuck. Think about why you're getting stuck. Take a day off. It's okay. The world's not going to end, I promise. Obviously, take advice from other people. If you're brave enough to be open to, I don't even want to say criticism, feedback. If you're open to feedback, ask somebody else to help. I've kind of wrapped in the discussion to this one because it's going to be a very busy week. But if you have any questions, Facebook, YouTube, livingmediumship@gmail.com, all that good stuff. Let me know if you have questions. All right. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.